German Demographic Trends and Proposed Policies by Jansu. Look at this photo. As you see this, what do you firstly think of? Elimination for the old woman living her own life? Or a wonder of why that old woman has to work? Actually, this is how our society will look like in the foreseeable future. The society where the elderly can live independent lives, but on the other hand, the society where the elderly need to work to fill vacancies. Germany, one of the most developed countries in the world, is located in the center of Europe with 83.2 million people living in. But historically, to achieve the current state of stability, the country had to experience sometimes gentle and sometimes sudden shifts of demographic trends. In the 1870s, Germany's population had grown from 41 million to 56 million in 1900, then to 65 million in the 20th century. However, this increase became no longer applicable since 1972 as the population entered a stage of natural decrease, which is still in progress. But here comes the question. How could the population change? Population is in fact the balancing between different people. Thus, the change in the ratio between the fertility and mortality rate is the key feature in population changes. As the women's lives changed since the 20th century with higher education and participation in the labor force, the fertility rate has decreased from 4 to 5 children per woman in 1885 to 1.37 children per woman in 2007. Meanwhile, with scientific and medical development, the life expectancy of each person has expanded, and the infant mortality rate has declined, resulting in the decrease in mortality rate. Therefore, the fertility rate that used to exceed the mortality rate, causing natural increase, became exceeded by the mortality rate since the late 1900s, marking the natural decrease. Then, as a consequence of the shifts in demographic trends, Germany is now facing the declining and aging population, and these trends are expected to be severer in the future since the population decrease is estimated to happen by 40 million by 2050, while the older age groups are estimated to exceed 10 million. So, there are two major problems caused by current population situation. Firstly, the workforce had declined simultaneously with the increase in recipients. As the baby boomers who possess a large proportion of the workforce population are retiring, the huge loss of workers is caused. However, due to the minimized younger population, the gap is not being able to be filled. Therefore, the lack of labor force emerged. Secondly, disintegration in society is caused. Since the aspects of the society continuously change, the lives, thoughts, etc. of the new generation and the old generation differ. Moreover, due to the difficulties of the elderly in adapting to a changing society, the elderly began to be excluded from society. Then, how can we solve these problems? There are several policies now in place. Germany. The government is offering childcare fees of 180 to 200 euros monthly and is guaranteeing the maternity leave span and daycare centers, promoting parents to give more birth. On the other hand, the government is implementing voluntary programs, healthcare systems, and late retirements, etc., to help elderly live independent lives in society. Yet, not all of these policies are positively affecting the situations. Therefore, I suggest the need for need policy, which combines two major issues together and solve them in a convergent way. Firstly, in order to solve the problem of decreasing birth rates that were mainly caused by the higher education given to the women that triggered more pursuit of a professional career from the women, a childcare system will be developed. It can be both childcare centers or a childcare service visiting the women's house. Then, to solve the problem of aging population that leads to the increasing recipients who do not have any work to do, the carers of the children the woman left behind will be the retired elderly and there will be paid for their work. Since the elderly already have raised their own children before, they will be a good carer. In conclusion, this policy can enable women to give birth to their children without any worries about giving care for them simultaneously with work or about their economic future as now the two-earner family is possible, while the elderly exclusion and financial capability problems can be solved through the jobs provided for them. Through these social efforts for coping with the demographic issues, one day the world would enter complete stabilization. Thank you for listening.